This one's for anyone who's doing all the things and still wondering, why do I still feel behind?
If we were all completely balanced all the time, we'd be in a coma.
Our brain is wired what's next, not what's now.
Welcome back to the Better You Show. I'm Coach Doris, and today I'm joined by the brilliant coaches who keep me sane. Coach Joyce's, Tiffany, Sarah, and Shelley. We're 5 coaches in one mission, real conversations to help you find your version of a better you. This one's for anyone who's doing all the things and still wondering, why do I still feel behind? In this conversation, we want to break down why accomplishment doesn't always feel like progress and how to start measuring alignment instead of output. How are we doing today, coaches?
Excellent.
Great.
So happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you guys could join me today. That's been fantastic. So my first question to you, because, I want to dive right in here. Why do we discount our wins so quickly?
I think a lot of it has to really do with, I don't know if it's society, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but we've always been taught, or at least I've always been taught, not to necessarily brag. And it's interesting because when I did something well, I like to tell people I was excited about it as a kid. And people kind of looked at me and thought I was strange, which was okay, but they didn't quite understand where I was coming from and what my excitement's about. So I think that's some of it. And why aren't we looking at every little thing we do and checking everything off? That's a good question. But I think we were taught not to brag, and we should be doing a lot more of it.
We still have a brain that's designed for survival. So I know that from the way I understand it, our brain focuses more on the negative because the negative things are what made us feel or experience a lack of safety. Something went wrong. So our nervous system is always looking for those things and saying, oh, well, we got to watch for that. We got to watch for that. We got to watch for that. Oh, that went really well. We don't have to worry about that. We got to watch for this instead. So if we want to have that positive focus, we actually have to do that with intention. We have to meet those negatives with literally 5 positives. That's my understanding, is that it takes at least 5 positives to kick out that negative. So, hey, wait a minute. I'm not in the best frame of mind today. I don't seem to be getting it all done. Wait a minute. What did I do today? I did this. I did this. I did this. I did this. I'm actually having an amazing day. Maybe I just made my list too long.
That's exactly it. And it comes back to that setting your intention. If you only got one thing done today, what is the one thing that would make today feel like a success? Even if you only did that one thing, right? I've also heard Gretchen Rubin talk about a to-do list instead of a to-do list. So instead of writing all the things that you need to do, at the end of the day, maybe you make a list of all the things that you say, ta-da, this is what I did.
I want to add something here as well. It is kind of fascinating how we are always thinking that our brain is wired what's next, not what's now, right? So we're always thinking, okay, so we're so much familiar with our emotions, with pressure, stress, self-criticism. We're not even looking how much we've done. We just talked about, Coach Doris, and we don't feel like celebrating our wins, even the one small thing that we have accomplished. So it's very important that we understand or we recognize that what we have done, sometimes we can even name it a very simple way and recognize it and just give reward to ourselves. Feel it. It could be just a cup of coffee or taking a bath. It could be just relax for the day or taking 10 minutes nap that we talked about in our last episode. So it's so important that you understand it is not always what's next, because our brain is wired like that, like in the survival mode. So we're always looking for the negative. So we do that. And another interesting concept that I wanted to share, my daughter just came from Denmark, and she was saying that mom is so amazing there. They're so calm. They're doing so much over there as well, but they're not stressed out like North Americans. And it was so evident. And she thinks it is because everything they do, it's about caring. Every little step they take, it's about caring for others, caring for themselves, and taking it a little slower, even though they have so many things in place and they have same amount of work that she was in the group. But it was very evident to see how the North Americans were more stressed out than them. And then it dawned onto me too, that's very important also, that when we are serving, when we're doing anything out of care and love, you don't feel stressed because you're giving. You feel very calm. You feel that it is something that I'm offering to someone. So I think that's how we can distinguish that we're doing so much, but still we won't be able to fall behind because we have accomplished or we have given so much from our heart, that's what we want.
So, coaches, with all of that in mind, what's the myth of balance that you wish every woman would let go of?
One of the big myths is that women should be able to handle everything in their lives perfectly all at once. And I think that really leads to burnout and guilt because, life goes in seasons, right? So I think you need to feel integrity with what matters most right now and learn to live in alignment and not necessarily balance.
Also, it's okay to put yourself first so that you can serve other people. And it's okay for you to make mistakes, because a lot of us judge ourselves, and then it messes up our alignment because we're too busy judging ourselves. Just notice, be aware, notice what's happening, how it made you feel, what can you do differently next time. And you're not a bad person. You're not broken. You're not a terrible human. It's okay.
I think that there's no such thing as balance. I think we're surfing the wave the whole time. Life is this all the time. We're always experiencing something, always in the process of change. There's always times when our emotions are bigger, when we're experiencing loss, when we're experiencing some kind of inner evolution or, um, you know, trying to adjust to something new or different. And sometimes those emotions get big, and then we have so much to do on top of it. So that awareness that, you know, we're on the wave all the time. And in reality, if we were all completely balanced all the time, we'd be in a coma.
Absolutely.
So,
Good point.
that awareness that, a very long time ago, I watched a movie. I think it was John Candy, and I forget who the woman was. And he wouldn't go on the roller coaster. And one of the finishing lines, I remember the woman saying to him, life is a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride.
So if balance, considering 50-50 balance, everything even all the time is a myth, as we just discussed, then how can we measure progress by alignment instead of output? To me, progress should be measured by what works for you. For some people, it's absolutely the overall achievement and in the end goal. But for a lot of other people, it's in showing up for a daily habit. Um, and sometimes that daily habit might be time-based. So you spend X minutes a day doing something, or behavior-based, going with an actual thing that you're doing. So if you're trying to get in the habit of going for a walk every day, maybe putting on your sneakers is the one thing that you could do. Maybe it's a results base. So a number of steps for our walk example, or a certain distance, something that you can do every single day.
I think one of the other things is just aligning what you're doing with your heart too, right? Making sure that it's something that you love to do, making sure that it's something that you feel is something that you want to give, right? Um, if we don't align it with our heart, then we're not doing it um for, I don't know if for the right reason, it is what I'm trying to say, but we don't put as much effort into it, right? And it doesn't feel as good. Um and it's not as easy to give ourselves a reward, right? So aligning with what we love with our heart, and staying away from those things that we just don't like to do.
I think progress um, is moving from that place of unease where we're feeling resistance against something that's happening into a place that feels right. When it feels right, then we're within the place that we think we need to be, that meets our needs. Um, we're not breaking our own boundaries, because so often we do. We set boundaries in our minds for ourselves. This is what I want. This is the life that I want. And then we allow ourselves outside of those boundaries because we think we should, or we think somebody, wants us to do this, and I should do that because they need me. So even though that's not something I want to do, I'm going to say yes. And then there's that inner resistance. And that often, leads into all the other things that we have to deal with. We make ourselves sick or upset or unhappy because we've actually made a choice that isn't in alignment with what we really need and want.
I want to add something here as well. I think most of the time when we think about having a balance in life, we just visually think it's a balance scale that we're holding. The balance has to be both sides equal, but it is not. Like Coach Shelley just said, life is like a roller coaster. So having that image balance in life subconsciously always drive us to work towards what is balance. I want to have a balance in life, but not understanding what is balance life looks like for you. Like Coach Doris, you also said, it is different from different for each individuals. So you also have to find out what you want. Is it coming from your love, like Coach Joyce said? Is it coming from your values? Are you aligned? Are you taking the steps that you really feel happy about, or feel aligned with yourself, with your integrity? Are those aligned? If not, then you will be out of balance. It's not going to be always equal, your energy and your actions, but it is something that when you take those steps aligning your values, and that progress brings happiness to you, that is going to be more balanced life, rather than thinking that it has to be equal on the both sides.
Um, what I think is that we need to define success on our own terms. And sometimes that's difficult. But like for me, I try to think of, what are my values, what are my morals and ethics, and live in my integrity and honor those things over productivity, because in the end, that's what makes life fulfilling and worthwhile.
Okay, so yes, measuring progress. absolutely can go all over the place and how we measure that. And I love how you guys talked about measuring it as to, how it feels, because there is no balance. There is no, um, if you're always if you're all heavy on one side or not enough on the other, you're going to feel it, right? All right, now let's lighten things up for our last segment. We've got a game. It's called Brag Bag. So, um, say that 5 times really fast. Brag Bag. You've got 10 seconds to give us a humble brag that is not work related.
I have processed about 10 blenders of garden tomatoes in the last week into various types of soups and stews and sauces, and it's been really crazy. I don't ever remember chopping so many tomatoes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's wonderful.
Okay, well, my humble brag is about health and wellness. So I just started kind of a new journey for myself, doing 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, going for an hour walk every day, and just watching what I eat. And I'm telling you, I feel fantastic. It's been so incredible. And just one thing I'd like to add. So, what I'm doing is I'm kind of reframing bragging as I'm not bragging, but I'm acknowledging my growth. And that kind of sends a message to the subconscious mind that, hey, it's okay to be great and to do what you want to do.
Awesome. Small steps.
For me, it was just being able to be at the arena with no earplugs for 2 games yesterday with all those people there. And my anxiety didn't even go up a little bit. So, that was pretty amazing from my perspective because, I haven't felt that way, in a long time. So, the noise wasn't bothering me. I love the excitement. Um, I had fun with what I was doing, and I could listen to it and really feel everything, again. I used to love being at the rink. That was one of my things that I did pretty consistently in the winter here, and, it was good to feel that and not to feel that, "Oh, it's too loud," type thing. It's like, I love the energy and the loudness, so that was cool.
Mine kind of works with the theme that we've been talking about the last few weeks with rest and not balance, but maybe the melody that I often use as an allegory. But I took a day off yesterday, and when I say I took a day off, I sat on the couch and I watched Friends reruns all day, and I did nothing. I barely cooked myself meals. Like, I barely did anything. So, yeah, took a day off. That was mine.
What I would like to share that also Coach Joyce shared, I think in the last episode, that we are. I'm a perfectionist. I wanted everything to be go like the way I plan or organize. And lately, my life has been pretty on the go. I have also my mom, my brothers are visiting me. My daughter, she was visit. He just came back from her trip, and Thanksgiving. There's so many things going on, and I would say I'm all those chaos that going on, I managed to be happy in every little step that I have taken, and I was so grateful. Again, grateful. Being grateful is not only that helps you to be not being stressful. So I learned to honor my body. I took the rest whenever I wanted. I went out for a walk, and I was so grateful. I watched a beautiful, beautiful sunset the other day. It was one of the best beautiful sunset that I've ever seen. And I think I shared it on the Facebook too. So I'm very grateful for taking that time for myself. And yeah, I'm very helpful, grateful for that.
Beautiful. I love this. Brag bag. I love this one. You're not behind. You're just living in a world that forgets to measure what matters. So if you're ready to redefine what progress looks like, take the quiz at betteryou.coach. It's a great place to start. And I want to thank you all for being here and watching us today and listening to what we have to say. please leave us a comment so that we know what it is that you want us to talk about. And thank you, coaches, for helping me do this.
Great.
Thank you, ladies. See you next.
Thank you.
Thank
See you next
you.
time.
Oh, hey, thanks for watching. Since you watched this video, we thought you might really like this video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe right there for more great videos. Plus, tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos at all. Comment your thoughts below and see you next time.